Alright, today I'm going to take you through the process of cutting and sewing a play suit. Okay, so I have my starting line on my pattern paper, and next is to impute half of my shoulder measurement. Then after that, the next thing I'm going to do is to come down by 2 inches and draw an imaginary line, because we are going to have a strap there. So I'm going to draw a line over there. Then you can also come down here by 1 inch for your shoulder slope, even though it's not that necessary, but it will just guide us in order to take our right armhole measurement. So once we are done with that, the next thing is to impute our round armhole measurement. So be careful not to have your armhole too loose or too tight. So I'm going to impute my armhole measurement here divided by 2. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to take my shoulder measurements and impute here. So this is my shoulder measurement. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to put my bust circumference divided by 4. Then I'm going to add 1 inch to it, making it 11 just for ease. Then I'm going to divide what I have here from this 1 inch slope. So this is half of what we have. Then I'm going to come in here by just 1 inch to give my armhole that fitted effect. Then I'm going to make a curve. So I'm starting my curve from here. Then I'm just going to extend this line. So as soon as I'm done with that, the next thing I'm going to do is to impute my neck width from here. So we are using neck width of 5.5 inches. Then neck depth, from here I'm taking my neck depth as 4 inches. Okay, then I'm going to make a very nice curve here, but before I use my marker, I just want to trace it out. So I'm going to use my curve in order to make it smoother and finer. So next is to take a bust point measurement. So I'm going to take from this my shoulder line. This is my shoulder line. I'm going to take it to my nipple point, which is about 10.5. So I'm going to go ahead and extend this line. So from there I'm going to take I'm also going to take my half length measurement, which is about 17 inches for the front, and I will also mark 17 inches down here. Then I'm going to connect. So this is my waistline. Then on my bust point line, I'm going to take my bust circumference divided by 4, which is exactly what we have here. Then I'm going to take in 1 inch for my bust tightening. Then from here I'm going to come in just by 4 inches, and I'm going to connect up to this point. Then on this part I'm going to take my waist circumference divided by 4. Then you add 1 inch to it for ease. Then I'm going to extend this. Then make sure you add 1 inch for ease to this one. Then as soon as you're done with that, you can go ahead and fold up this part. You can fold up this part and make your curve. Alright, so I've been able to fold it in. Then I'm going to take my curve just like that. Alright, so to create the pattern for the short part of the play suit, you need to divide your hip measurement by 4, and whatever you get, just add 1 inch to it for ease. So I've done that, and after doing that, just mark on the 2 sides. Okay, so after doing that, just go ahead and make sure that whatsoever you have is up to your thigh circumference plus 1 inch. Okay, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and extend this. we have 12 here, and we also have 12 here. So after that, the next thing is to extend it, know the length of your pint. So I'm using total of 18 inches for mine, or you can use 19 inches. It depends on how long or short you want it. So I'm going to extend the line. Alright, so once you're done inserting the lines, the next thing is to take your hip measurement divided by 4. Then on this part, you can also take your hip measurement divided by 4. Then you impute your crouch measurement, then add 1 inch to it. So after adding 1 inch, this is what we are left with. So for ease, then on this part, you can just impute what you have here. This is about 14 inches. Then you are going to make a very nice curve here. You can deduct 1/2 inch from here, so you have a more relaxed flap. So I'm going to go ahead and connect this. Alright, so after connecting it, the next thing I need to do is to take my waist measurement. So I'm taking my waist circumference divided by 4, which is about 32. Then I'm adding 1 inch to it. Then we've already done that to this side. Then on this part, I'm going to deduct 1 inch from here and 1 inch from here. Then you can go ahead and connect what you have. Then from here you can mark your hip measurement plus 1 inch. Then go ahead and connect. Alright, so at this point I'm going to go ahead and cut out the pattern so I can show you what we have for the front and also cut the back. Alright, after cutting the pattern, this is what we have. So I'm going to use this pattern to cut out the back piece. So let's proceed. Alright, so I'm going to keep it here. Then I'm going to take out just 1 inch from this pattern for the back, just 1 inch from the pattern. So I'm going to place it this way, and I'll pin in order to secure the pattern. Alright, so after pinning, what we are working with for the waistline is about 9 inches, which is supposed to be here. This is 9 inches. Then I'm going to add 1 inch to it to prevent back bulge. So this is my 1 inch, and at the end of the day I'm going to remove that 1 inch from here. So I'm going to mark 1 inch off from here. So I'm going to go ahead and reconnect this. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and cut out this. Alright, so after cutting it out, this is what I have. So this 1 inch, I'm going to connect it all the way to the top, to the chest line. So this is the back. So for the down part, alright, so this is the back, and I have placed it on a fresh pattern paper, and I'm going to extend this line by 2 inches. Then I'm going to reduce this. By 1 inch. Then on this part, I'm going to increase this side just by 1 inch, and I'll do the necessary connection. Then on this part, I'm coming in just like we did to the upper bodice. I'm coming in here by 1 inch, Then I'm going to add that 1 inch to this particular side, and let's go ahead and connect it so you can see what we have. So from this part I'm going to connect this, then I'm going to slope down. Okay, you can go ahead and add 1 inch all the way down to this side. Then go ahead and connect it. So this is for the front. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and cut out what we have. Alright, so after cutting it out, both the front and the back, you need to put it together and tape. Alright, so after joining the waist area, this is what we have. This is for the front and this is for the back. Make sure you have the center front for the upper side and the center front for the down side aligned. Okay, so basically I'm going to cut 2 pieces of this in my African print fabric and cut 2 pieces of this. Alright, so I did some alterations, as you can see. Let me bring it closer. So I went ahead to reduce this neckline, so I'll be cutting it out. Then I'm also going to reduce this by 2 inches or 1.5 inches, but you can leave yours like that. It's still okay, still fine. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out what we have. So along this part I added 0.25 inches and 0.25 inches. Then at this area I added just ½ inch. Then at the side I added 1 inch. Alright, so after cutting out everything, this is what we have. This is for the 2 pockets, which measures 10 inches for the length and 8 inches for the width. Is in 2 pieces. Then for the strap we have 2 pieces, which is about 25 inches long and the width is about 4 inches. Alright, so for this I'm going to start joining the front bodies first. So I'm going to join using ½ inch, just this part. So once I'm done joining this part all the way to the end, I'll get back to you. Alright, so after stitching, this is what I have. I also went ahead to transfer the darts that we have here to the 2 sides, and after that I went ahead to cut out facing, which I'll be using to turn the neckline area and the armhole. Alright, so I've gone ahead to add this, which will serve as the lining for the facing. So I'm going to turn to review the right side and iron. Alright, so I noticed that I didn't stitch these 2 parts, so I had to go to the sewing machine to stitch it up. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is to fix the pockets, and let me show you how I was able to prepare the pockets. So I went ahead to use hemming gum to seal this part, as you can see. Then after which I folded it to the area that I want, and I folded this other part and I used iron to press it down so that when I'm stitching it, it won't be difficult for me. So I've already marked out the area where I want it to be. Just feel free to position your pocket anywhere. You can want it upper or you can want it down. Okay, so anywhere that is convenient for you. So I'm going to pin it down, then take it to my sewing machine and stitch the 3 corners, leaving this side open. So I'm going to do that to the 2 sides, and when I'm done doing that, I'll get the back part. Okay, so for the back part, we'll be fixing this on the neck area, on this area. Okay, so we'll be fixing this. I'm going to, you know, fold it into two and stitch. All right, so for the back parts, I've already joined the center, and the next thing I'm going to do now is to join the strap. So I have two straps here, and I've secured the edge here, and this side is open. So I'm going to take it to this side and pin down. So after pinning it down, I'm going to get the facing. Then I'm going to arrange it this way, right side facing each other. So I'm going to stitch this way all the way to the armhole, and once I'm done doing that, I'll get back to you. All right, so after turning the facing, this is what we have. So you're expected to notch round the edges so that when you flip to the right side, it will relax properly. All right, so this is it. I'm going to remove this pin. This is what we have. Then I'm going to do the same to the other side. Then after which I'll take it to my ironing board and iron, and boom, that's it. Came out so beautiful. So the next thing I'm going to do after ironing is to join the front piece to the back piece, and that's all. All right, so I'm done ironing it, and this is what we have. So at this point, I'm going to get the front part and align it. So I'm going to stitch the side using 1 inch. So I'm going to align it properly and stitch using 1 inch for the side, and for the crotch area I'm going to stitch it with just 1/2 inch all the way down, and I'm going to stitch the other side. So once I'm done with that, I'll get back to you. All right, so I've gone ahead to stitch all the required parts. You go ahead and hem the side and stitch all the required side. Then you leave one part of this side so you can attach invisible zip to the side so that it will give it that curvy effect. Okay, so that's it about these tutorials. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.